Hi guys, so today I'm going to be doing my second makeup tutorial. This is my most common spring, lightweight, subtle sort of makeup look. This is going to be a chatty tutorial. Number one, because I don't like doing voiceovers, we have a love-hate relationship. And the second reason is because I just feel like having a chat as I do it. So yeah, that's the deal, that's what's happening. This is the finished look, so if you would like to see how to do this makeup yourself, then carry on watching. So before I start doing my makeup, I'm going to moisturise my skin with the Vaseline Aloe Fresh Moisturiser. As it's spring, it might start to get a bit hotter now, so you want to keep your skin nice and moisturised so that it doesn't dry out. It will also help your makeup to last a lot longer throughout the day, so that's always handy. So now that I've moisturised my face, I'm going to use the Revlon Colour Stay Foundation in the shade Ivory. I'm going to pour a little bit of this onto the back of my hand and then use the Real Techniques buffing brush to buff that into my skin. I like this foundation because it's very lightweight on the skin. It doesn't feel like you're wearing a lot, and obviously when it's getting a bit warmer outside, you don't want a heavy coverage foundation. Well, I don't anyway. I'd rather have my skin being able to breathe. It's quite a runny foundation, as you can see. It's dripping down my hand. But I prefer that because I find it easier to blend in. After I've applied my foundation, I go in with the concealer, which is the Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer in the shade Fair. I tend to put this under my eyes, around my nose, and on any blemishes I have. My skin is quite bad at the minute, so I'm going to use quite a lot of this. I tend to get a lot of blemishes around here in between my brows. If you also get that, that means that you're eating too many sugary foods, so it's quite bad that my skin is constantly bad there. I probably need to cut out some sugar, but I just find it so hard, to be honest. And then I'm using the same brush, the buffing brush, to buff this in. Okay, so now my base is set. I'm then going to take the Bourjois Paris bronzing powder, the chocolatey type of one, and I'm going to put that on my forehead to bronze up my skin just a tad, but also sort of just everywhere else on my face too. Do I look a little bit more bronzed? Probably not, never mind, that is okay. That's fine. So the next thing I do is my brows. To fill in my brows, especially in the spring and summertime, I use my Naked One palette. I find that it's a lot less waxy, obviously because they're powders. I just think that's a lot nicer and it feels a lot more natural on your skin, or on your brows. So I use the shade Buck for the end of my eyebrows and the shade Naked for the inside of my eyebrows. It might seem weird that I use two different colours, but the inside are much darker than the outside, so I have to sort of even them up. Before I fill my brows in, I use a little eyebrow comb just to comb them through, so it's sort of like starting on a blank canvas. I find that the end result is a lot neater from doing this, so I would definitely take the extra 2 seconds out of your day to brush through your eyebrows first. I'm going to take the Real Techniques brow brush to apply these powders. Okay, don't be alarmed at how dark they look. When the rest of my face is done, I promise you they will look normal. So after I've filled them in, I just go through and brush them again. So after I've filled my brows in, I set them with the Rimmel Brow This Way styling gel. Literally just coat that over the brows and it keeps them in place. Now they shall remain on my face for the entire day. Great. Sorry if I sound really ill, by the way. I am. The next thing I do is contour my cheekbones. As summer is rolling around pretty soon, I want to be ahead of the game. I want to look bronzed before anyone else looks bronzed. So I'm going to take this again, the Bourjois Paris one, and the Real Techniques contour brush. I'm going to suck in my cheeks like a fish, like this, and as you can see, it looks like I already have cheekbones there. Don't be fooled. But that is where I'm going to put the bronzer to just accentuate my cheekbones. I don't want to give myself cheekbones, I just want to accentuate my features. You know what I mean? Know what I'm saying? Yeah. As you can see, I now have a cheekbone even when I'm not sucking in my cheeks. Congrats, Hannah! You can sculpt your face! Yay! Another problem that I find is that my hair here is very blonde. My baby hairs from when I was little are like bleach blonde, so you can see them there. So it looks like my hairline starts really far back, even though my hair is like here, you just can't see it. So what I also do is take a little bit of bronzer and just put a little bit here, and a little bit here to make my face look a little bit smaller, and that will just bring my hairline forward a little bit, so basically changing my entire face. I forgot a step. When I do my brows, I put a little bit of concealer here, here and underneath, just to define them a bit more really and lighten up this underneath part, so I'm just going to do that now. And then I take the Real Techniques detailer brush. Detailer brush? Yeah, detailer brush to sort of blend that in. I just find that this gives my brows a more defined, sharper look, which is great. Eyebrow goals. I'm joking, my eyebrows are literally horrendous. Do they look any different now? Maybe not. They feel different. No, they don't. Okay, so back to cheekbones. I've done the contouring, now I'm going to do the blush. So I'm going to be using the MAC blush in the shade Stay Pretty. It's a really springy sort of blush, just very natural, pretty, but very pink, very girly. Peachier shades don't tend to suit me. I feel like peachy shades look better on darker skin, but I feel like this one works well with pale skin. So if you're pale and looking for a new blush, I would definitely recommend this one. I'm also using the Real Techniques blush brush. I prefer to go for a subtle blush more than sort of like a wow, I'm blushed sort of look. Okay, next up, eyeshadow. So first of all, I'm going to prime my eyelids with the Urban Decay primer in Sin. What I like about the coloured Urban Decay primers is that they can be used as the eyeshadow, so in the summer I'll probably use it as my eyeshadow, but for this sort of time of year I'm going to be using it with the Sin eyeshadow from the Naked One palette. These can also be used as highlighters, so if you're looking for a primer and a highlighter, a cheaper alternative might be to get an Urban Decay primer. In the UK they're £16, but if you were going to use it as a highlight as well, then that's pretty cheap. Okay, we've moved a little bit closer to do the eyes. So now that I've primed them with the Sin primer, I'm going to take the shade Sin from the Naked palette and apply that using the Real Techniques base shadow brush. Whew, that was a mouthful. I think this is a really pretty colour for spring. It's not too in your face, it's just a nice little, ooh, look at me, I'm springy and have cute eyelids. So as you can see now, my eyelids are shimmery. Next up, I'm going to curl my eyelashes. Especially recently, I think I said this in my makeup collection video, I found that curling my eyelashes makes a massive difference to how my eyelashes look. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. I do get a little bit scared doing this, I'm not going to lie, because I know a couple of people who have lost their eyelashes by using a curler, because you see this rubbery bit here, that came off and it basically just cut their eyelashes off. So I'm always a little bit cautious, to say the least. This looks totally natural, doesn't it? Just using a contraption on my eye, as you do. And then just quickly I'm going to use this brush that I use for my eyebrows to separate my lashes. So again, it's a bit like starting on a blank canvas. It's time for mascara, aka my least favourite part of doing my makeup. I'm going to be using the 17 Falsify HD mascara. As you can see, the bristles are long, and then as you turn it, they look shorter. There, so they're the short, and then they get longer again. I find that's really handy. Hang on, let me just focus myself again. Oh, wrong way. I don't know how to work cameras still. You really would only need sort of like one coat with this, but I prefer to have fuller, longer lashes. So I always use a couple of coats. There's coat number 1 done on the first eye, so then I'm just going to do exactly the same on the other eye. Also, here's a handy little tip. When you're doing mascara, if you put your mirror down below, you're going to be looking down, so you're less likely to get mascara up here. Just a little tip, remember that. I hate doing mascara so much. It is such a chore. In between each coat, I also use an eyelash comb to comb them through and separate the lashes. You don't want your lashes looking clumpy. You want them looking dainty and delicate for spring. Like a little budding flower. My own tip just didn't work. I've got mascara here. Why? Why does this happen to me? I just realised how close up I actually am. If you've got this on full screen, I apologise. Go me! Congrats, I fixed my mistakes. Don't look back on the past. Have no regrets. All that jazz. I've officially had enough of doing mascara, so that's how I know I'm done. The next step is to powder my face so that my makeup stays in place all day long. I'm using the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish powder in the shade Light, and again I'm going to use the Real Techniques powder brush to apply this. I'm just going to do a light dusk over my face. I also especially want to keep the makeup under my eyes in place, so I'm just going to take the Real Techniques pointed foundation brush to apply a little bit of powder under there. I have really bad under eye circles, so that's why I'm particularly fussy about this makeup staying in place. Now I'm going to highlight. I like to do this after I've powdered. I don't think many people do, but I feel like if you highlight and then powder, sort of defeats the object of highlighting. I'm going to use the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish highlighter in the shade Soft and Gentle, along with the Real Techniques blush brush again, and put this on the apples of my cheekbones. Just a tiny little bit would do. You don't want to be shimmering like Edward Cullen. Is that his name? Edward Cullen? I'm trying to make a joke, but I can't even remember his name, so that's that. And then finally, to finish off, I'm going to use a light colour on my lips. And as it's spring, I don't want a heavy lipstick, so I'm just going to be using a Dior lip gloss. It's from the Dior Addict range, and I don't know what shade it is. 643. It also doesn't feel sticky, which I really like. Okay, so as you can see, this is the finished look. I hope you like it. I think it's just very subtle, dainty, quite elegant, and it's easy as pie. Is that the saying? Maybe not. Maybe it is. It is now. Easy as pie. If I can do it, you can do it, because obviously I'm not a makeup artist. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Of course, remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and you can see my videos every Thursday. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye!